physical health and physical exercise has a huge impact on my mental health, at least. And I think there's too much of a divide between physical and mental health. And I feel like we need to move towards converging those two and making this just global health. When I think of mental health, I feel like there's too much of a disconnect there between mental health and physical health. And I hope kind of one day that it almost converges into one global health, human health. And I hope that's where we can work towards. I haven't always been into my mental health. I only started getting into it about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I started speaking with a psychologist, mainly for my on-track personal performance. And it was only through those conversations that I felt like this has given me more than just the on-track benefits. I'm coming away from these sessions feeling better about myself, feeling like there'd been a weight lifted off my shoulders. And sometimes I went into these sessions with not a lot to talk about and thinking it would only last 5 or 10 minutes, and I was there well over an hour. So since that, it's been something I felt quite strongly about. I'm really not sure why so many men still see mental health as a weakness. I think we have so much pride in men about being strong, and any difficulties we try and push aside and power through. And I feel like this is where we need to try and turn this tide. And there's nothing to be ashamed about talking about something, whether it's a friend or member of your family, or whether it's seeking professional help, just to have an open, honest conversations. And I think so many men would be surprised about the results. The moment when I thought I need to seek some professional help was when I had a really difficult race. I'd had a crash. It was a very low point in my career. And I thought I could just pick myself up from that moment. And I was picking myself up, but we decided to speak with a professional. And I was so grateful that I was advised to do that, because I came away from that conversation and that meeting with him feeling so much better about myself, and put those negativities to the side, lifted myself up, and I was ready to attack the rest of the day and the rest of the week. I think when I was talking with my psychologist, the process was just having an open, honest conversation, and I went in there with an open mind, not too sure of the results I would get. I wasn't in a super low point, but I just sort of used it to maintain my mental health the same way as you'd go to the gym to maintain your physical health. And that was a really nice way of me offloading some of my thoughts, that I just wanted to talk to somebody about it. And I think the professionals have such an amazing way of recognizing how you're feeling, asking the right questions to dig deeper if needed. But it doesn't need to be a very difficult conversation. It can be at your own pace, and get out of it whatever you wish. If I'm having a bit of a difficult day, the thing I do that really helps me to lift my mood is to get out of my flat, go for a walk, go for a run in some fresh air. For me, physical activities really help me to get into a better place. And equally, just seeing friends or family, just talking to somebody, having a laugh. These are the two things that I always do if I'm feeling a bit down. And I think it takes a lot of courage sometimes, because you just want to sit on the sofa, watch some TV, and you don't really have that energy to do anything else. You don't want to see people, but you absolutely just need to pick yourself up, get out the house, get some clear air, and that really helps me in those moments. Physical health and physical exercise has a huge impact on my mental health, at least. And I think there's too much of a divide between physical and mental health. And I feel like we need to move towards converging those two and making this just global health. The one bit of advice I would give to somebody who's struggling with their mental health would be not to be ashamed about talking to somebody, whether that's a friend or a colleague or a member of your family, or reaching out to a professional. We all have our moments where we're feeling a bit down, a little bit low. But even when we're not, I think talking to somebody to almost have this mental maintenance, just keep ticking over, keep staying in that positive place is so important. I think seeking professional help, especially for men, we can look at this as having a huge amount of courage to go there and open up and get whatever you wish off your chest. We don't need to sit there with a huge amount of pride thinking we have all of the answers and we can overcome whatever difficulties we're going through. Let's speak about it. Let's talk to somebody, and there's nothing wrong in doing that. In all honesty, I'm not too sure what the words mental health means to me. I think I'm still discovering what mental health is to me, what I need to maintain my mental health, what I need to do to lift myself from difficult moments. And talking to these people, talking to these professionals are helping me understand myself more, understanding how to be in a positive place mentally, also understanding myself how to avoid getting into these deep holes, and also how to get out of it. So it's just a constant learning about myself by talking to people. The biggest thing I've learned so far when talking about mental health is that there is so much support out there for people who need it. I think the perception of therapists and psychologists, especially in the movies and TV series, is that you're under the microscope and the lights are shining on your face and you're being asked these really difficult questions. But I think that's really far from reality. You're in control of the topics you want to talk about. You're in control of your feelings, and you can take it absolutely at your own pace. So you can decide your own pace that you go at. So I'd absolutely recommend to anybody, just don't be afraid, don't have any shame about reaching out to somebody, and especially to a professional. From my own experience, opening up is only a good thing. When you hold these thoughts within, they just keep getting larger and larger and larger, and at one point you're going to pop. So sometimes you just need to release that valve, release those negative thoughts or that bad energy, and bring yourself into a bit more of a steady state of mind.